Imagine a zombie apocalypse breaks out. This shelter, built inside an ancient tree, perfectly concealed, 2.5 meters underground, can definitely guarantee your safety. Not only is the interior airtight and cozy, but the exterior also blends perfectly with nature. Guaranteed that zombies would just scratch their heads and leave. Old Wang, a man with a keen sense of danger, has a clear goal: to build a shelter capable of withstanding zombies. Coincidentally, not long after setting out, a centennial tree appeared right before his eyes. After stepping up to inspect he realized the tree was completely dead. Moreover, the overhead clearance was 2 to 3 meters, more than enough space for living inside. However, the internal diameter was too small. He wouldn't even be able to stretch his legs when sitting. For the sake of living comfort, he chose to dig the shelter underground. Possessing a strong survival instinct, he carried all the excavated soil far away, so that his dwelling wouldn't leave any traces. The deeper he dug, the harder the soil became, forcing him to sit and catch his breath occasionally. But to ensure he had a place to stay by nightfall, he didn't feel it was arduous at all. After digging to knee depth, he had to battle against larger tree roots. In the end, it took Old Wang 2.5 days to successfully dig the foundation to the ideal shape. He just needed to continue carving downwards to reveal the shapes of the furniture. Considering the large temperature difference in the forest, a fireplace was naturally essential. Wang first dug out a rough shape for the base, then went outside to connect it from top to bottom, chiseling through to create a smoke exhaust. Due to the long-term drought, much of the wood had lost its internal moisture. Snapping cleanly with just a gentle bend, Old Wang easily collected the pile before him. Without wasting much energy, he only needed to cut them to equal lengths, to stack them inside the cave to form walls. The roof was made using the same method. But what about the gap at the top? Wang thought for a moment, then immediately drilled a row of holes in the wood and drove in wooden pegs to fix them to the walls. Next, he found thinner sticks, sharpened the bottoms uniformly, and inserted them into the pre-drilled holes to seal it. This way, the gap overhead was restored as good as new. There were some leftovers, so naturally, they were used to make the door. It's just that the design looked a bit strange, reminding one of looking out from behind prison bars. The pressure of the zombie outbreak made his speed significantly faster. Work that usually took an hour was now completed in just a few minutes. Gathering supplies, bit by bit like this, and constantly improving the shelter, really gave him a sense of accomplishment. As the sky slowly darkened, he had to make do with this semi-finished product for the night. Late at night, his camera captured wild beasts foraging. Although he had lit a campfire at the campsite beforehand, the harsh surrounding environment still gave Old Wang a fright. He couldn't wait to get back to the shelter to reinforce it. Building a shelter in real life is very difficult, and wilderness survival is full of dangers. Surely, friends who like thrills and excitement wonder, is it possible to avoid risks while still experiencing survival? It might be a bit hard in reality, but in games, it's possible. Easily build shelters, and one-handed wilderness survival isn't impossible either. Just like this 2026 hit, Doomsday Survival, minigame, Survival, 33 days. Exploration, gathering supplies and weapons are just the basics. You also need to find survivors and assemble doomsday vehicles, because you face infected that evolve every day. Once infected, supplies are reset to 0, and you start over. You only get rescued if you survive for 33 days. Even the developers can't survive in this game. Do you dare to challenge it? The game is in the bottom left corner. No download needed. Come play in your bedroom with just one hand, waiting until the next day. After Old Wang woke up, he continued the work left unfinished yesterday. After his meticulous detailing, the exterior looked completely natural. But Old Wang still felt it wasn't quite perfect, so he dug up greenery from the surroundings and transplanted it to the entrance for decoration. He didn't miss a single gap, even for the external smoke outlet. He connected a hollow stump to camouflage it. It was concealed, yet allowed for strong smoke exhaust. Now, the new home was nearing completion, lacking only the final interior decoration. For this, Old Wang found some tree stumps nearby. He first cut them into step shapes, then placed them at the entrance to serve as stairs. Then he sliced the remaining stumps into wood chips, laying them on the bed as a mattress. and on the ground to make flooring, making it much more comfortable to walk on. As for the dining table, the method was a bit different. He flattened the connection points of the stump, then slotted it to create table legs. Again, he drilled holes and inserted wooden pegs to connect them. Although the process looked a bit complicated, the resulting product was definitely durable, making it very worthwhile for Old Wang. As the sky gradually darkened, the sounds of animals howling came from the forest. Fortunately, his shelter was hidden underground, so he didn't have to worry about safety. Upon entering, he immediately covered the bed with moss, then laid down the bedsheet he brought. At this point, a perfect single bed was formed. Since he had collected mushrooms in the evening, they could serve perfectly as a side dish, and thanks to the fireplace's excellent concealment, no matter how vigorously the fire burned inside, the external camouflage remained largely unaffected. To celebrate the completion of his new home, he had a very sumptuous dinner. First, he fried the beef until golden brown on both sides, then added the gathered mushrooms to pan-fry them. During this process, he also took time to prepare many side dishes, eating them all together. It was a nutritionally rich meal. The taste naturally went without saying. Old Wang wanted to lick even the seasoning clean. After eating and drinking his fill, he naturally had to patrol his territory. Only after confirming the surroundings were safe did he lie down to rest. The sense of security this shelter provided was incredibly high.